Aloha beautiful souls, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Marissa Indigo of Divine DNA Blueprint Mystery School, here for this week's quantum energy plasma stream cosmic overview. Oh boy, do we have a dynamic week. So we're going to be talking about the energies, some of the astrological events, covering today, Monday the 16th, through next week, Monday the 23rd. Wow, well, welcome to eclipse season. Tomorrow, Tuesday the 17th, we have the first eclipse of the end of the year of 2024, which is just so massive. We are in the equinox gate. Then we have another eclipse. So needless to say, there's a lot going on. You could feel a lot of pressure. You could feel pulled in so many directions. You could be witnessing these contrasting experiences, these in your face realizations of, oh wow, look how I created this, or I didn't create this. You could be seeing and comparing the outer reality, right, and what you've created in your life, where you would like to be, where you're not. You could be feeling and just observing so much emotion all over the board, emotional roller coaster, and this pressure, this tension to get back on the path, to get back on track. I mean, there are so many elements at play here. So there's a lot of mental energy, right? That could just be really running amok. There's a lot of emotional energy where you're feeling so much, and it's all a lot to handle. So it's really time for mastery, for us to employ all of our tools. So before we dive into everything, I just want to invite you to just take a moment here and just take a deep breath and just inhaling, exhaling, and just affirm, I'm on the path. My guidance allows me to know when I start to veer off. And no matter what it looks like, what it feels like, what kind of monkey mind, mental gymnastics my brain is doing and my limbic brain is doing, I'm on the path. Even when I feel disconnected, I'm still connected. It's just where my mind is. So if there was ever a week to really have a pretty overwhelming quantum overview of multiple dynamics going on at once, talk about a multidimensional experience. Because your mental realm could be in one place, your emotional realm in another place. You have roles to fulfill, perhaps, right? At work, out in society, with family, with yourself. So I'll share a little bit about my own experience and what I've been observing in my own reality to try to demonstrate a little bit of what this looks like and how to handle it. So this is the first time for me in 4 years that I haven't been just completely self-employed, right? Just with the way everything is right now, we need more supplementation on a financial level. So I had to go back out into the human world as a light being, right? With all of the various dynamics. And you notice I keep saying that word, right? Because our realities are feeling very dynamic and there are multiple dynamics at play. So it can be very interesting to be a light being, having done a lot of ego work. And we're never really done, right? We're having this human experience, but we've gained more self-awareness, right? So you go out into the world and you're doing your work and dealing with lots of people, watching the reactions, the subconscious programming that's arising with yourself, with other people, right? And so starting to see how everybody in your reality, maybe the people you see every day, so colleagues and family, the same gas attendant, people at the grocery store, and then the people that are just a fleeting moment, how relational our reality truly is. So you start to become more aware of the energetic exchanges and the information exchanges that are going on all the time. And it can start to be pretty overwhelming because what I observed in myself, I'll go back to my example. So, right now, Sunday, Mondays are my day off from work. And I observe that Sundays, I'm in a completely different frequency in my being. I'm observing everything that went on, everything I'm carrying from the week, everything that's left to be processed. Because I have observed, and this is some of the wisdom of the equinox coming in, right? Where can we bring in more balance and greater harmony and unification vibration in ourselves and thus our reality, observing how easy it is for me to go on autopilot and be much more in a yang mental state, much more in a masculine, accomplishing, linear mental state during the week, and realizing there's imbalance there, because then when it comes to Sunday, I'm really exhausted energetically on all the levels, and then emotionally I have a lot to review and to deal with, right, and to bring back into harmony. And so there's that opportunity right there just to bring more awareness into our daily life and our daily habits. So it's these micro practices, right, throughout our day where we could commit to fostering, creating, nourishing more harmony, more balance, right, between being active and receptive. And so I'm observing that, like, wow, okay, so this whole week it was, you could say it was stressful, it's high paced, I'm still training and learning a lot of things. Again, there's that dynamic word. It's a very dynamic environment. We have people from all over, all different levels of consciousness. It's like an amazing microcosm of the Aquarian age. We deal with, work with, observe a lot of the homeless population. And so you have everything across the board in the human experience that you are present for, engaging with, supporting, trying to work with them. And you start to feel the energetic toll, right? The emotional toll. And it lets me know, okay, yeah, I've got to refuel my light. And so for me, I'm seeing, okay, so the days are so rigorous and long too, that they are exhausting. And I come home, I'm so tired. I just want to lay down and go to bed. And so I need to work in some practices to assist me in decompressing, right? And rebalancing my light quotient so that I'm not just like a flickering light bulb all week, So it's okay. How do we find the tools, the methods, the mindset even, right? The receptivity to bring in more balance, to refuel ourselves, to nourish ourselves again, to show up at a higher level out there in the outer world as well as the inner world. And starting to see really in our face, this can be really confronting for a lot of people. It can be unpleasant to start to have your subconscious programming rising right now. A lot of folks are talking about triggers, everything being a trigger, everything being an activation, causing some kind of a reaction in you right now. And this is so massive, this topic. We are in the middle of multiple cycles of karmic resolution, subconscious clearing, galactic core, karmic root, ancestral DNA, galactic DNA, all of this, it's like a washing machine where you're getting tumbled around and so many elements are all swirling around at once, right? And then we have on top of that, adding even more depth to this, is the first eclipse tomorrow. And the eclipse tomorrow is in Pisces, the oldest water sign. And so Pisces deals with the subconscious elements of where we are sacrificing ourselves too much. Where are we trying to do too much? And what's neat about full moons is that the moon and the sun are opposite each other, right? So the moon is in Pisces, these deep psychic waters, empathy, mysticism, otherworldly, it can be a beautiful, mystical, divine realm. The dark side of it can be mental health, right? Kind of more of the institutions that we see in the 3D realm, and drug addiction, right? So just completely going so out of this world into another world, right? There can be a great contrast here, and what we're seeing with people, it's either enlightenment or total delusion. And then where the sun is in Virgo, and so that's the complete opposite energy of emotional. That's the mental realm. It can be kind of controlling, it can be detail oriented, it can be kind of picky or perfectionistic, or why doesn't it look like this? It has to be this way in order for it to be right. And so we are seeing so many opportunities to kind of rip off any of the veils, any of the covering of our programming, and really allowing ourselves to learn how to let go more, how to surrender control, how to find that balance, how to discern, is this coming from my ego? So it's not my highest soul aligned desire or intent. A huge one is letting go of what it looks like, how it's supposed to happen. And what I received this weekend in preparing and just receiving for all of us, and then to put into this podcast, is that no matter what it looks like right now or how we think it should look, that a lot of that is programming and a kind of a linear process that we all grew up with, right? So it's ingrained into our nervous system and into it's hardwired in. Oh, well, if you want to do this, then you start with this and that and that, and then it goes into that, and so we're seeing these subtle layers deeper within the mind of, oh, well, if I want this goal, or this is what I came here to do, right, then I'm going to do it this way, and it has to be done just so. And it's like the universe is saying, okay, look, you have this beautiful vision, and I'm going to come and blow it up and blow it all away, and what you're left with is the bare essence essentials of your soul essence, who you are and why you came. You're being stripped away of any of the egoic or any of the more human control mechanisms, right? Or how we think it has to happen. So the linear constructs are being ripped away, right? A lot of demolition. If you think of like when they demolish a hotel, how it just collapses. And these can be really tough for our psychology, depending on how attached we are, right? How emotionally invested we are in something being a certain way. So another level of mastery for us to surrender, to release control, to put it down, and to just sit and to breathe and receive the wisdom of the universe that is showing you how to get back on track. So if you're feeling a lot of tension and like pressure, it goes back to the diamond codes again. It's more of that refinement process. It's more of that condensing of your energy so that you can be more powerful, more potent, more unified, more clear in your path without all the bullshit, without all the extra stuff that's actually a huge waste of energy. So you may be like me, looking at your reality and being like, holy shit, I only have energy for this and this and this. These are my priorities right now. And then you own the qualities of your soul. I know I came here to be this. I know at my core essence, I'm an artist. I'm here to share otherworldly divine messages to assist humanity through the shift. And I thought it had to be through classes, build your practice. Eventually people will want to work with you for sessions, as you get more involved in the community. So I'm sharing my linear process of how I thought in my linearity. Okay, yeah, you want to build your practice locally here now, right, where you live. Going from online to still being online, but now more in the local community, boots on the ground here with the people. So, this is how you do it, A, B, C, D. And none of that's really aligning because I don't have the energy for it. I realized I'm like, man, I love teaching classes. I love being with people, but right now I'm so fucking tired. I don't have the energy for those one-on-ones. I don't have the energy for sessions. I don't have the energy for classes to show up on my weekend. My weekends need to be for me to refuel myself, to do an excellent job during my day job, showing up for myself and my family, right? And my home life. So it's a real stripped away to basics. And I had to go through and surrender where I felt frustrated that I don't have enough energy to do things I love to do. Like I love to teach classes, and workshops and be with people that way. But right now, it's just not lining up. I don't have the energy for it. And so I had to go through that whole emotional process of feeling frustrated, of feeling, there's some separation consciousness there, right? There's definitely some victim consciousness of like, well, universe, I'm doing all the right things. I'm working at this job, which any human job, if you're aware of the situations for the majority of people, they don't really pay you enough to live, right? So then you're looking like, okay, what are all the other things that I need to do, right, to bring in income? And you realize, oh my God, I don't have energy for anything else. What am I going to do, right? And so you see how you can go into these kind of human rabbit holes, right, of limited perspective or a linear perspective. And we have to just pull back and stop the monkey mind and let the universe come in and show us. Say, no. Let's look at what you do have energy for. What energizes you? What inspires you? I'm like, well, I love doing podcasts. I think I could do a couple workshops a month instead of committing to a weekly thing, because we never know where our energy is going to be every week. You never know how your light body is going to be. It's hard enough doing a linear job with this energy and the way that everything has been shifting with the solar activity and everything. And so what I realized is, oh, well, I definitely have the energy for sharing information the way that I have been. And what really lights me up, that I'm excited about, that I've been wanting to do for years and wouldn't let myself, myself because I thought I had to do things a certain way, right? Is right. I have all these books I want to write. I have so much stuff I want to write, articles and all these things I observe, and it's fun and it's easy and it flows with my energy. So you may be observing where you've been driving yourself into the ground. Human programming we all have of feeling separate from the greater energy and the higher power and the universe, where we feel like we have to do it all, and it has to be done this way. And we're just burning ourselves out, wearing ourselves down, right? And this is also part of one of the larger cycles I mentioned that we are closing up right now, is a 16-year cycle of how we functioned. So one of the major overarching cycles of many, right? There are so many right now, is the last 16 years. So from 2008 to 2024, what was going on? What has been going on for you? What have you been observing? In 2008, Pluto entered Capricorn, and that was the beginning of the dissolution of the matrix, the dissolving. A lot of plot holes started to be very obvious, right? Houses of cards that are built on sand, starting to really see gaps with everything, right? Starting to really see like, wow, this system really only benefits like the 1%, what about everyone else, right? People starting to wake up to the fact that, wow, a lot of these institutions and systems, they're all a pyramid scheme, really, and I'm at the bottom. Like, then we add on top of that our ascension journey and the galactic disclosure that's happening inside of us, of remembering who we are. So this year, in the beginning of the year, we had a several month period of Pluto leaving Capricorn and going into Aquarius. So we went from the dismantling of these old structures, these old systems, the old paradigm, and seeing, well, it's like decaying, but it's still here. It's putting on quite a show that everything is normal when it's not. Everything's, essentially falling apart, right? A lot of these systems and the media, they're just covering it up right now. And then we have this opportunity to all of a sudden go deep into outer space. Galactic information coming through, a lot of soul remembrances, a lot of desires of the Aquarian age starting to be awakened, all of the seeds, the star seeds in the people also, depending on the generation that they're in, starting to embody more of the star being, right? Being more of the wisdom keepers and the elders. And elders doesn't necessarily mean that you've been on the planet for a long time. It's the old soul component waking up, coming online, right? Realizing, wait a minute, I'm here to be part of the new paradigm, right? And that's that Pluto in Aquarius. How are we going to revolutionize ourselves in the collective? So it's between self, individual, and the collective, right? What did we come here to contribute to this new society, to this new world? People starting to realize, wow, I'm really passionate about a total reformation in education for kids. So instead of it being, factory indoctrination, it's not really anything like it was. It's all these other wonderful, almost mystery school, mastery school, esoteric information, embodiment, empowerment, heightened abilities, right? All extrasensory gifts, like really about evolution instead of a control of information or programming of people, right? The hive mind. Healthcare, food. I mean, every system that we have seen, and that brings in the galactic hijacking of everything. And we take our power back from that because we all came here to be part of this shift and to bring our own unique imprinting, our own gifts and passions, and where we have that soft spot for humanity that we want to specialize in. And that you could have many of those. So the whole year, we're starting to get these downloads coming through of like, wow, I really see issues with this. I would love to. If I were in charge, I would do this and that, all these things, right? Some of us looking at politics and seeing a changeover from the two-party system and all that shenanigan kind of stuff to a council. It's actually representative of everybody. There's so much revolution, this really sacred rebellion of awakening. So that was going on all year. People getting information and insights and feeling like, oh my God, yes, these are the times I've been waiting for. This is why my soul came to this planet, for these crazy times of immense shift, the quickening, right? So we were receiving this information all year long. And then earlier in this month, in September, for 6 weeks now, we're going to have Pluto back in Capricorn. Why? It's so that we can experience the most ultimate contrast and develop a game plan for the next 2.5 months. So until mid-November of, okay, you received all of this expanded, cosmic, higher dimensional information. Your soul started to reveal to you a lot of why you came. So now you do the blueprinting. Now you create the game plan of how do you bring heaven down onto earth in your reality. What does that look like on a day-to-day basis? What are the practical steps? What is the self-care? What is the highest integrity and sacred respect for yourself, right? And so with that, seeing, well, where are we still going unconscious? Where are we having triggers? It's a lot of information. It's just cycles upon cycles that we are dealing with simultaneously. So if you're freaking exhausted like I am, I invite you to take a breath again because it's a lot, and it's also wonderful. There are many practices that we can utilize, our daily habits, our health regimen, eating really healthfully, making sure you're eating really good quality, having the supplements and the superfoods and the wonderful, medicinal Chinese mushrooms, all of the support for your body system. And not only the physical nutrition through food, but the spiritual nutrition through the content, working with the light directly, working with the sun, with Solaris, right? Breathing in those light rays and the light codes, working with the planet, slowing down. And so the energy that we want to bring forth, the elemental that is really here to nourish and support us this week, is the earth. So work with the earth this week. We've got some beautiful activations on different mountains where you can become the mountain, but you can just do that in your mind's eye. It's just breathing and sitting and just seeing yourself become like a pyramid shape, like a mountain. And you can become any of your favorite mountains in the world. Put yourself on top of the mountain, put yourself inside, become the mountain. If you can, look at plants in a garden, work with a garden, go visit a garden, just look at plants in the soil, touch the earth. Go walk around in the forest or in the park and put a nice blanket, lay in the grass. I know in the north, we're starting to get into autumn. It's getting more chilly, so put on a bunch of layers so your muscles stay nice and warm, and enjoy going for a walk and just listening to your breath and enjoying nature, listening to the birds, looking at the colors of nature, the elements, right? The wind going through the trees. Yesterday I felt so blessed because there were some deer, and I got to watch the deer in the forest, and the way that they were jumping, it was so full of grace and levity. I mean, they were just springing, right? Effortlessly, bounding around, jumping merrily through the ferns. And it immediately lifted my heart into, yes, that levity. Yes, right? After going through so much emotional clearing and processing and surrendering and releasing control. And on top of all of that, once we get out of our own way, it's the affirmation process of I am it. I am my destiny. I am my purpose. I am on the path. I don't need to do so much. I don't need to push for it or force. I can balance the activity, right? The masculine principle within, which most of us are more comfortable with, whether you're male or female in this life, right? That yang with the yin, with the receiving. And so this is a huge week to continue to cultivate our relationship with ourselves and to be more aware of our energy, to prioritize the use of our energy, to exercise self-care, and to just allow yourself to chill a little bit. You don't have to just dig yourself in so much to try to make things happen. It can feel on so many levels like, oh my gosh, if I don't do this, I'm going to lose it all, or it's not going to work, And so you just really want to watch the mind. Just observe the mind. So do whatever practice is going to assist you to slow down and to get into the gaps, into the richness between thoughts. Work with the earth, root yourself every day. Ask Gaia to receive your roots, to receive your grounding trunk, that they go through your body, through your central axis, right? And all the way down into the core of the earth, and also through your feet, so that you can assist yourself to come into more of a natural time paradigm, if you will. Time doesn't really exist, right? It's energy, but when we're stuck in the mind, it just goes really fast and we're just burning energy by being so linear. So you want to slow down. And the best way to feel time slow down and to be free of the concept of time and not having enough, or whatever you're feeling where you feel separate from your goals or what you feel is so important in order to get to the next step. Just slow down down, pull back, breathe, and just let it all expand for you. And just know that a lot of us are feeling that pressure of that old paradigm. It's like, okay, I only have so much time to make this happen. And those are just more of those constructs of the old paradigm, right? Just let them peel away. One of our favorite lessons in the autumn is watching the leaves fall. It's such a beautiful lesson, a beautiful wisdom teaching of the leaves. The trees are like, all right, that's my old growth. I'm just going to let that one fall off. And it just spirals gracefully to the forest floor to be recycled, right? To go back, for the energy to be transmuted. So let us learn from the trees, to just allow the old to just drop away and feel yourself getting lighter as the untruths continue to just drop, drop, drop. And what's left with us is the bare core essence, which is the most powerful and brilliant and bright radiance of our soul signature. And that, combined with our light body and the universal energy, is supporting us. So all we have to do is listen. So a lot of times when we feel really exhausted, maybe in some avenue, we're unconsciously trying too hard. There's an imbalance. We're not giving ourselves enough. So it's definitely not an easy ride by any means right now, right? To balance all of these roles as a soul and a light being and a galactic, and looking towards our mastery every day in all of these situations, it's no small feat. And so we want to consistently affirm, I'm doing it. I'm on the path. I'm allowed to relax. I'm allowed to receive. So make sure you balance it all out. And tomorrow I'll have a special activation and kind of an energetic overview for the eclipse as well, because there's just so much to discuss, right? So thank you so much for tuning in today. Wishing you an amazing week, and just enjoy all that you get to observe, right? Unify from within, feel your heart, feel your brilliance and your beauty and your genius and your magnificence. Make sure that you are seeing yourself, recognizing yourself, saying, I love you, you're amazing. And not in an ego way, in a way that is accurately reflecting the sentiment of Source for you. The love that Source has for you is unconditional. So make sure that you're consistently giving that to yourself as the universe giving to yourself, right? Make sure you put that role into the mix as well. So wishing you all an amazing week, and I will see you tomorrow for the eclipse energy report. Namaste.